The American people support legal immigration. I do. I know you do, Mr. President. I don't know this year's numbers, but last year we admitted about 1 million people into our country illegally, our world's neighbors. This is the greatest country in all of human history. And the whole world knows it. When's the last time you heard of somebody trying to sneak into China? They want to come to America because we're the land of opportunity. And we care about our fellow human beings, whether they're born in the United States or not. Sometimes people say, oh, the American people are selfish. I get a little angry when they say that. And in other countries, they'll let their neighbors die in a ditch. Not in America. In our country, when you're homeless, we'll house you. When you're hungry, we'll feed you. When you're too poor to be sick, we'll pay for your doctor. And we do welcome our world's neighbors to come in illegally. And I get upset when some of my colleagues, not all of them, but some people say, well, Kennedy, you're racist because vetting people at the border is racist. No, it's not, Mr. President. It's proven. I read this somewhere once, and I'll end on this point, but it made great sense to me. The American people are not racist, and they're not xenophobic, and they're proud that people want to come to their country. But they want to know who's coming in and going out. The American people see the southern border like they see the front door of their home. Most Americans lock their front door at night. They don't do that because they hate everybody on the outside. Most Americans lock their front door at night because they love the people on the inside. And they just want to know who's coming in and out of their home. And that's all the American people want in terms of immigration. They support legal immigration, but they want people to be properly vetted, and they want to know who's coming in and out of their country. And for the life of me, I don't hate anybody, Mr. President. I don't. And I certainly don't hate the president. But I do not understand his policy on the border. I just don't. I hear him talk to us a lot about democracy and the rule of law. And that's important. There's not a single person in this body that doesn't believe in democracy and have respect for the rule of law. But the legal immigration laws don't have just have an asterisk about it. Now, we could secure this border. We could secure it, I think, in 6 weeks. Here's what we need to do. I'm not even sure to take legislation. There are laws on the books right now. It is a fact. If you try to sneak into our country illegally and you get caught, you're supposed to be immediately deported. We need to enforce law. Number two, if you claim asylum under the 1951 UN resolution that we agreed to, you're entitled to have your asylum claim heard. But 70% of asylum claims fail. Once your asylum claim fails, you're supposed to be immediately deported. President Biden's deporting none of those people. Number three, we need a Remain in Mexico program. Doesn't mean that people claiming asylum won't get their day in court. They just need to remain at home or remain in Mexico until their day in court comes. Number four, the whole purpose of our asylum policy is to keep people from being persecuted politically. That means if you feel unsafe in your country, you can go to another country. But the law says, the UN resolution and treaty to which we agreed says, if you feel like you'll be prosecuted illegally in your own country, then you have to seek safety in the first safe country that you go into. That's not for about 90% of our migrants in the United States. If we had a safe third country policy, which President Biden can do like that, he could do it by 6 o'clock. Then that will solve about 70 to 90% of our problem. And for the life of me, Mr. President, I don't understand why. But I know this. We don't have the slightest idea who these millions and millions of people are. And it only takes once. It only takes one terrorist. I appreciate your patience, Mr. President. I yield the floor.